There it is. Reversing the years and image restoration and making a book cover. So I'm trying to give you guys not just assignments, like take this green thing, make it red, save it in this format, put it in this file, make sure it has your name on it. Because I find that horrible. And I don't think you really learn much from doing that. So I'm trying to like take a whole bunch of stuff, put it together so that you kind of get a practical use idea out of it. Uh-oh. My dog just ran in all happy, like she chewed something up. Hold on a second. All right, what are you chewing on? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you can have that. That's fine. But you can't bite me. Why? Animals. You're good with animals, right? How do you feel about a 6-month-old Weimaraner with big, huge teeth?
I have a almost 2-year-old pit bull, and that was her. She's throwing her bone through the room right now, throwing it because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah,
I love them.
yeah. Mine goes and gets crap outside. Like, look, here's a stick I know I'm not supposed to bring in the house. Now here's some mud. It's like, stop it! You just want me to pay attention to you. I'm gonna lock you up. I have a giant cage. I will put you in it. Anyways, okay, so tonight's assignment really is reversing the years. So all the tools that Photoshop has for taking an old person and making them look young, or taking a young person, making them look old for that matter. And so a lot, I realize it's a button in the neural filters, but it doesn't work super well, the neural filters one. So this is how to kind of gently bring the neural filters along and get them to do what we want with them. And it's also how to lay out a book cover, which is a super popular request I get, more from the graphic design folks. They're like, oh, I want to make a book cover. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Why would you want to do that? But I get it a lot. So I thought it might be fun to cover that as well. So we'll mix both assignments. We'll take an old guy and we'll make him young, and then we'll use that image in a book cover of your own design, whatever you want it to be, a romance novel, a thriller, a sci-fi thing. It just has to use the pictures that we're doing. To that end, I put a very large old man photo in here. It's like 3K. So it's good to work with a super high image one. You can get your own old man if you want to. That's fine. All right. Any questions? Does this sound cool?
Sounds cool. I'm in.
It sounds like a typical Sean assignment. Yeah, the ones that you missed, let's see. What did you say you were doing? You were doing tattoos?
Yeah, that make it old. I'm lame.
That's it. That's number 10, dirt maps, custom brushes, and textures and tiles. Yeah. And then after that one is alignments and distortions, which is kind of a weird one, but a good one. Oh, and then you make a punk rock poster at the end after you learn how to do all the alignments and stuff. So basically run through everything, all the auto alignment tools in Photoshop and tell you where they are and how to use them, things like that. Just in case you didn't know.
That's going to be really cool because I photograph a punk show this Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You can take pictures. Do you say you're playing in a punk rock band this Saturday? Or you're...
I'm shooting. It's
Oh, you're
4
shooting.
bands at Canocti Vista.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you can learn how to make, this is kind of a retro 80s look one that I put together here, but the idea is to make a punk rock band. So you can take actual footage of that and make a poster of it. That'd be great. Nice timing. All right, let's get into this. There's a front field man. There are various tools, techniques within Photoshop that can be employed to achieve an aging effect. The neurofilter ones mostly that most people use are Smart Portrait and Skin Smooth. Um, and Skin Smooth is just blurs everything, and Smart Portrait kind of does the same thing, but in a slightly better way. Unless you crank Smart Portrait way over, and then it just goes crazy. Like it like gives up to AI, and then it's like, okay, a little bit on the picture, a little bit on the picture, a little on the picture, and then it goes full on 20 years younger. And you're like, whoa, dude, how did we go? It's the from 2 to 0 is like 11 notches. I'll show you here in a second. Then regular Photoshop tools. We have all the blur tools. We've covered a lot of these before. Wrinkle removal tools, the healing brush. We'll use that. The clone stamp, we won't use that because we've used it before. Facial retouching. We'll get into the liquify tool. Have you ever used the liquify tool for adjusting face heights and stuff? It's really kind of neat what they've done with it. I had no idea. I just learned
Not
about it
yet.
today. And it's super. I was like, what the hell? When did they do this to the liquify tool? And why is it hidden in the liquify tool? So we'll get into that. Color correction tools, those are the same that we've been using this whole time. And soft focus tools, we probably won't do any of that, but because it's camera specific, it's like blur background, and we're just dealing with the face. Cool. All right, how to lay out a book jacket is first, I guess. I kind of want to do the other thing first. Let's do it in the reverse order. Because I'm a teacher, I can make executive decisions. All right. Because how to put a book jacket together is kind of uh, boring. Oh no, you look at that. I just didn't introduction to age altering techniques in Photoshop. I'm missing a module. Yeah, it's my fault. So that should be create a book cover. So that should be I'm such a hot mess. But that's on that one stays. It's this no, this is 4. And the new one. I'll go with that. I'll change that later when I put the video in there and stuff. I know you love watching me build the class as I'm teaching the class. All right, so here's the man that I uploaded, and as you can see, he's very high res. Well, fairly high res, let's say. High res enough where you can notice it, and he's got a lot of freckles and stuff. And he's just on his Larry thing here. And so the first thing we're going to do is just go full AI with it. Now duplicate the layer just so I can preserve the original, turn that off. can lock it. So we'll need to use it for a while. And then take this one here and go to filters, neurofilters. And then there's skin smoothing. I guess makeup transfer would count in for face stuff, but I want smart portrait. And then if you hunker down here to smart portrait, you have facial age. And you can see if you crank that this way, does its little thing. I said it does its little thing. There it goes. And now he's like 20 years younger, which I think is kind of cool. So if we can crank that all the way to 49, negative 49. And you can see it starts bringing back color into his face and stuff. So this is, you get 100 in every direction, right? I had 10, now it's 100 for some reason, but whatever. If you crank it all the way this way, like crank that button over, it goes, oh, I know what it is. It goes super AI, but I'm sorry, there's another button we have to hit. Retain unique details. So right now it's making him younger, but it's retaining his unique details. If you lessen that, it will, this is the one, the button. So if you turn this off completely, blunk, it does a great job of making him really young, but I don't know that that's anything but AI, right? Like if I hit OK here and we bought back out here and I turn this on again, if I turn that off, I mean, it kind of looks like him. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you definitely should have included the neck.
Oh, yeah, can I drag that thing down? I mean, we'll actually we'll do the neck in a bit using different tools. But yeah, have you done this before? Are you an old hand at aging stuff?
Nope. Nope. I like to shoot straight.
Oh, you do? You like the head-on shots?
Well, no, I just like, my subjects as they are.
Oh, right, right, gotcha. Not shoot straight
Yeah.
on. You're talking about
Yeah.
not
Not
doing
Ansel
any,
Adams straight, but
yeah,
I don't like to Photoshop,
gotcha.
like my clients.
What are you doing
Mhm.
in the spot? They'd be so happy if you did that, like you shot somebody and you did that to them and they looked like
Um,
marginally
sure.
younger.
But, then ew.
Yeah,
I like people as they are. So yeah,
sure.
no, there are a lot of professional photographers that use this all the time and they do really, really great, but I feel like it becomes fake and I like to, yeah, like people as they are.
I get you. Well, I'll teach you how to do it just in case somebody ever asks.
Oh, it'll be fun. Yeah, I want to learn for sure.
Um, great. So that is neurofilter straight up. And you can see it, I should have left it. Um, now, can I move that down? It doesn't really let me grab the thing. Now, will it let me move it? No. Huh. Expressions global. By the way, this does all sorts of weird stuff. Like you can change expressions. Um, you can change head directions and light directions, all sorts of weird stuff. All we're doing is messing with this one. You can make him happier. You can make his hair thicker. Well, I don't think this works right. Some of this stuff just doesn't work very well. Some of it needs a little bit of a kick in the butt, like a slight boost. Like that didn't make his hair any thicker, just slightly bushier. His white hair is problematic, by the way, FYI. Especially if you want it to be black. Like when he's younger, it probably was black, and this gray hair is close to the background color. It's hard to deal with. Okay, so that is age, and then in settings here, do that and that, and he's instantly like 25 years old, except for his hair, which is gray. Maybe it's ironically dyed that way, as people are wont to do. So let's cancel this. So I would like to do that, but I want his hair to be black. So the best way to make his hair black, because it doesn't have, and if it had color, it'd be easy to grab the red or whatever. But because it's white, it messes with everything in the scene. So it's a little bit problem. So if I just do select subject, right? I made a copy layer. I do select subject, and I can select inverse, and then I just get rid of the background. That's a good start there. And now I can make his hair black. I'm going to use this as an overlay layer to make his hair black. Image just hue saturation and just knock down the lightness and the saturation. Somewhere in there. Hit OK. And maybe your burn. I'll just leave it there for now. And so you can see light transparency. So you can see now at least I've created a black hair sort of thing going on. I still want some of the darker bits to come through. So then if I take both these layers and duplicate them and then merge them and get rid of that one. Promise. Go ahead.
Another way to do it would we like instead of doing all the layers and the masking and all that, like what about painting in his hair dark but with lowered opacity?
Yeah, so you can do that. The only reason I want to do that is because I want to maintain the lines that are actually there. So I'm just going to cut it out. I'm gonna cut it out. I want to get rid of the back, and I'll tell you why in a second. Here, hold on a second. So I just get rid of the background right there, and then I want to get rid of the foreground. And I'll leave a little bit for me to go in later on and noodle with. Come on. X, yeah. One more time. There we go. So I want any of the weirdness. You can't see it really well, probably, like from monitor to monitor. I can barely see it on mine, but there is stuff in here. And when it's layered, if you just were to paint it right, you would lose some of the detail that lives in the hair. I know that doesn't, but if we start bringing it back. See, then the darker bits go super dark. And the lighter bits stand out a little bit. And this is going to look stupid for a little while, but then we're going to run it through the neurofilter after the fact. And the neurofilter is going to blend it for us, which is also kind of cool. But I wasn't able to get black hair after I made him young before. So I gave him black hair before I made him young. And it seemed to work a lot better. Okay. Oops. We just want to get rid of any of the hard lines. And then also, to your point here, we'll paint his eyebrows, because I did on the same level. I'm going to make it totally black. Opacity again. It's just his hair was so white. You usually don't have this problem with people, because usually they have some color in their hair. This dude just didn't have any color. All right, so I grab my two layers here and I'm going to merge those together. So now I have old guy with white hair, old guy with dark hair. And now I can go into my filters and go back to neural filters. Do smart portrait. And make him younger. And come into settings, and I'll just crank that to 11. And you see it sits a lot better this way than it did before. Like you wouldn't be able, if you painted it on, you wouldn't be able to get this detail, even if you did like a multiply or something. But somehow when you overlay it, it works a lot nicer. Or so I have found. All right. I'm going to save this as a new layer. And now we can address his neck. And other little things. I can't believe how nice a job it does with his eyebrows. It's crazy to me. And it ferreted into his skin really well. The AI just does a really nice job. All right. So his neck. I don't know what's wrong with his neck. What are you talking about there, Jem? It looks fine. So there's a couple ways of fixing it. So let's do the first one. Right. Let's create a create a layer, or just do this. All right. Generally, I would create a new layer and do this all like a whatchamacallit layer, a control layer, a threshold pot. I'll just read them all. No, it's not. I'll just do it on this thing here. So patch tool, there it is. So if you come over here to the tools where the healing brush is, actually we can do the spot healing brush tool first. So the spot healing brush allows you, of course, just to come in and kind of, it'll blend the stuff together a lot better. And if I get up to your brush, much better on little tiny things. The oh, I have it on darken. Do normal. There we go. Didn't look, so if you have it on darken or lighten, so if you have it on darken, if he has eyebrows that are offending you, or like you want to get rid of some of this hair here or something, you can put it on darken, and it will get rid of anything that's dark and replace it with whatever's underneath it. And if it's something lighter, like you had white hair or something, then you can, oh, I'm sorry, it's the other way around. So this gets light and gets rid of the dark stuff, and darken gets rid of the light stuff. When you have that selected, but we want normal, so it's just going to be like a stamp tool, right? You remember the stamp tool where you go here and then here, and it just copies over kind of what was where that little X is over. So that does the same, it does sort of the same thing, except that it finds the commonality between what you're trying to blend and then blends it. So should be able to go in and kind of lessen that. But the easier thing to do on larger areas is to run the patch tool. So I can, for instance, select a section like that and then go find a piece of skin that matches, and it'll try and blend it in to the existing thing, which is kind of cool. That didn't work so well, but that's why I use an adjustment layer. Oh, that's what I wanted to remember. It's an adjustment layer. Too funny. Okay. That's what the patch tool is. Let's see. I think you're right. I should have did his neck a little better. See if I can grab this more. Well, not perfect, but not old Manny anymore. Oh, maybe over here we want to do this. You'll notice also the background is back. Take that out. I like working with a gray background. So if I make a new layer, I'll keep it way down here. That way I can see halos and stuff. So now I would want to go in here with a soft eraser. Oops. Just get rid of that light halo. Yeah, I'd usually be a lot more careful. All right, come through. His clothing here is sort of rough. I don't mind that so much. Great. Cool. Any questions so far? No? Oh, I lost Jim. Lighten that. Cool. Okay, so now we have our character, and we may want save it. / young man. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Oh, slash. Okay. And now I'm going to put these together. Bing bong. Jem, was that you or me?
That's me now.
Huh?
My laptop just completely stopped. So I'm here on an iPad.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we have the progression. We have that, right? We turned his hair black. So that not because that looks good, but so that when we went to young, the AI would take care of it for us. And AI did a pretty good job of integrating the hair into it. You'd have to do a lot of painting to make that work. Messed up his ear. You don't want to leave this kind of weird light halo. That's why I put a gray background in so I can see that. You can use red too, but red hurts my eyes after a while. I find medium gray works better. Okay, so we got that going on. The original and the younger. Original, younger. It made him smile better. It's like an old man smile. Cool. So the other thing we can do to young him up is the smoothing tool and the liquefy tool. So let's use the liquefy tool first. The filter liquefy. Shift Control X or liquefy. A new filter that doesn't work really well. But look, when I restarted my computer now, all of a sudden it works great. So you'll notice, can you see that? The white halo that happens? So liquefy does all this liquefy stuff, and maybe we'll get into that later. Maybe I'll do it after this, but it has a face tool. And the face tool is really good for if your person needs to be a little heavier or a little skinnier or something. So generally younger people are skinnier. See how it kind of keeps the eyeballs and the mouth sort of constrained. And you can do stuff like lower the hairline. It doesn't, it's not stretchy very, doesn't stretch very much, but it stretches enough for like, you can bring in the chin, bring thing. And you'll notice that as I do this, all these sliders are moving over here too. And you can see, you can adjust just the jowls or the jawline. And here's the face width thing, head thing, and the chin height. And you could make his nose a little smaller, bring it up a little bit or down a little bit. It like really makes really decent adjustments to the face if you're doing this sort of stuff. And then I should have used this for last week's where I did part of the punk rock thing was that we made a big-eyed anime girl. Um, cool. So that's the liquefy tool. It does other stuff. Like it has pinch um, and uh, bloat and pucker. So you can do all this stuff. Twirl, smooth tool, and the smudge tool. It's really kind of a nice. I like that they made it. It's kind of its own thing. This stuff is great. Just they should call it nudge though, not liquefy is kind of is an okay name, but I think nudge, where you're just nudging it around. That's uh, what I've always called kind of stuff where you're just pushing the eyeball a little bit or moving the nose a little bit. All right, I'm gonna hit OK. So you do have to, in order to do this, you do have to make it a smart object. So you just, right click on the layer and make it a convert to a smart object. I'm not sure why it needs to be a smart object for it. And then it's kind of like a blending tool where then here's the smart filter there. It keeps it nested underneath it and keeps the original. It's very kind of strange. I should turn that on. There's the old guy. There's the so let me see what subject here. Gonna let me? It is gonna let me. That's nice. Eh, thing. If you have a smart object and you need to rasterize it or unsmart it, you can hit rasterize later. So I want to still remove the background. Oh, I need that layer, that, and that. Cool. So now that I have my two plates, I can get this one, and I can rasterize this one because I don't need to keep it into the wall like that. And I can move them next to each other. And I'm not quite sure what kind of book I want to make yet. But when I do want to make, when I'm ready to make my book, I am all set. You don't have to line them up like this either, right? It could be one here and one here. I'm just going to keep them like this just um, for comparison's sake. And you'll notice that when I move these along, if you did last week's homework, you can see the purple alignment tool going from nose to nose and hairline to hairline, allowing me to evenly match them up. That little purple line that you get when you do text and stuff also works. But sync images similar. All right, save this one more time. Great. Any questions so far on that? So many questions.
I think I'm okay. I'm
Okay,
following now.
great. Oh, I didn't hit smooth on them again. I don't really like the smooth button, to tell you the truth. I might have like selected his neck and hit smooth. But I think it just makes work for you later on. If you smooth the skin, then you have to go back and add grain to it so that it has some texture and matches what you did before. It just kind of washes stuff out too much. Even a little tiny smooth is like a lot. Okie dokie. So what kind of book should I make? Say, I'm gonna pull up a 2000 by 2000 pixel grid, and I'm gonna close one there. Let's bring this one in here. That one. So this is the other. This is the jacket that I included in the home, and this is a pretty standard sort. So for those of you who aren't printing professionals, uh, this is this would be for a 6-inch book, right? 6 inches by let's see, 6 inches. I don't know what this distances here. See? Oh, I see. It's a 9-inch tall book, and this is 6 inches, and this is 6 inches, and this is 3.5 inch in flap. So the most important thing to remember when you're designing a book is that this little bit here, right? This is where it wraps around the edge of the book. And this is 0.375 on this particular one. So this obviously, whoever made this template knew what material they were making the hardcover of the book out of and what thickness that was, and then implemented a little bit of wrap for it and then some. So it's always safer to make this a little bit larger but you do that by leaving it to match this a little bit so that when this wraps around the cover of the book, you have room to play, because sometimes it's bigger and sometimes it's smaller than what you want it to be. If you know the thickness of your book, then you're good. But if, because then you can make it kind of exact. But if you don't, then it can be off by a little bit. So you want to make sure that whatever picture you have here has a color that bleeds off, so that bit there can be handled within the image. And that if you're going to put something on the inside flap, right, you would put it in the middle of the inside flap, so that if some of the inside flap gets Billy Gray, if some of the inside flap gets taken up by this thing, then it's still not impinging on the image that you want it to be. But you don't go straight to these green things, even though this gray thing, the green area is the area of the printable book, and then the gray area is the bleed beyond it. So most likely, if you were to print this cover, it would have a white border around it, the distance of this gray. I know, terribly exciting. So we're going to use this template for our book. And we can spend time just doing the cover. So the first thing I want is that this is the area that I can like right for my I want to create a shape that I can paste into. So either I can use the shape tool and create a shape. Blink. Gray. Which is perfectly acceptable. Can duplicate it. Put over here because they should be exactly the same. And great. And create another one with this here. Although I can just take one of these, another one of these, right? They're already the same exact height. Move that into the middle. So you can see that I have all three of these shapes kind of eyeballed aligned to this, but As we found out last week, that's not a great go. Much better that you use this. That's you. It's a restaurant. Here's down. Okay, so now I have all three of these things and I can array align them, right? Remember the array align from last week? Just this one. And now they're all, it makes them all equal distance. Let's see, zoom in. Are they equal distance? They look like they're, and they're all aligned to the top just fine, even though this doesn't match up with the arrow thing. With the line things very well. We know they're all aligned quite well. That's what this thing does. If I grab multiple objects and I want them to be equidistant apart, this is horizontally and then this is vertical. Okay, so now we have our image planes to play with. And I can, I don't need to move these around anymore. In fact, I don't want them to move around. So I'm going to just merge shapes. No, not do that. I'm going to create another layer and merge those shapes to another layer. Because if I merge them, they'll just become one shape. And that's faster. Great. And now I can muck with this. So I'm having a hard time thinking about what design I should do here. So I'm going to get a texture. There. I typed in old book texture and you can see it has all sorts of stuff. These are dirt maps. It's all coming together now. That. Shift. Paste. So I'm pasting into the shape. And yeah, so if I did a little more, I could get rid of the whatchamacallits, watermarks. So I just, all right. Great. So I still don't know what I'm going to do with my two old men. But I have the starting point for I have it, and I'm just building on top of the template here. At any point, I can just get rid of the template, and then I'd have my printable book here. But I might as well use a template since I got. Okay. So now I want to open up my old man picture. And I'm going to select these over here. Huge. and what to do. How about we go with that old chestnut? Polaroids. I just typed in Polaroids on the internet and got this. He kind of fits in there already. Much better if you have an idea of what you're working on before you start working. Oh man. All right. You and you, you and you. No, you and you. Let's move up here. All right, we're getting somewhere. So now I've got some stuff with some things. Blending option and drop shadow. Oh yeah. And multiple. About yeah. Angle is that. Okay, and then I can right click on this and copy layer style and just paste that to here. And that will give me the other drop shadow. I want kind of a shadow between those. So I need to get up here and mark with this shadow. Okay. So what should my book be called? and just organizing these a bit more. I can't go past that edge, right? I need to leave a little bit of room for stuff to happen. If I can. Oops, but I can't have the shadow go off. All right, now all I need to do is make a goofy title. Jim, you're no help. You're supposed to give me a goofy title.
Reverse aging post eclipse.
How do you spell that?
How to unage. I don't know.
I keep thinking it should have like some sort of strange, ironic name. Like the Youngling or something crazy. Edging, reverse edging.
Definitely a sci-fi name would be cool.
Um, but that's the best font. So when you're using fonts, we talked about fonts a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about them. When you're using fonts, if you can't read it, like I can barely read that, and I don't think Polaroids is P-O-L-O. It's P-O-L-A. Anyways, if you can't see the font, then you need to do something like put a stroke on it or a back, some sort of a something to make it pop above what you're working on so that you can read it easily. Fonts are great, but if you can't read them, they suck. If the fonts are horrible, like I run into a lot of fonts that I just can't, like, what is that? F sort of cats.
I. Isn't it? P-O-A-R.
P-O-L-A-R-O-I-D-S. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Again, you should be the teacher. Next week, Jem will be.
I just did an essay on Polaroids last night. So
Oh, did you? That's funny.
yeah. Yeah.
There. Polaroids of the temporal zone. Uh, it's a real thing. It's a real book. It's their style. And because it's title, I can do anything I want. Maybe some stair stepping or flaggy sort of stuff. But yeah, because I'm sure everybody wants to hire me as their graphic designer. Um, Sometimes when you need a little room, you need to put the on a different thing. Scaling. Go on my thing. Well, that works out nice. Otherwise, of the temporal zone. Nice. Okay. So once again, we need all this garbage to be aligned perfectly. So I'm going to align both of these to the middle, like my blink. And now they're aligned to each other. I want them aligned to the page. I would have to grab that because they need to be aligned to the middle of this page. I would have to grab that piece there. I would have to grab the shape that I destroyed already. I don't have it because I destroyed it already. But I can see that there's a purple line in the middle of that, which means that they are aligned to that area. Great. All right, I'm so excited. And then this. Hold down shift, right? It'll allow me to click into 90 degrees. This. I still like the wackiness of the stair step. I have to kind of make sure that it's and because I had to make this font smaller, let's see what size. This font is 21.6. So and I can also go in here to these ones. And oh wow, those are bigger. How is that bigger? That weird. Those are certainly not the same. Oh, there, look at that. All right. And they're aligned. And I just need a copy of the. And sometimes you actually going to align it with T. So it's very much part of its own thing. I should go in and make it smaller. Isn't so bad. All right. Polaroids, tempos. And then I just need some text or something. So let's go to my book. There's a whole bunch of time travel books. Let's see what they look like. Oh, yeah. They have at the bottom of the book. Genre defying, witty and intriguing, multi-layered. Nice. I'm going to copy this part. And then I'm going to create a shape over here. Well, you know, it'd be cool. Keeping with my theme, right? That's which is like a Polaroid from a different Polaroid from that same picture. It's that weird order around. So inverse X. Oh, okay. Now I need more text again because I lost it. Copy. And remember when we put down text, um, we want to make sure, I'm just going to use a very simple, like an Arial Libre. It's great. When we put down text and we want it to fit an area, we press down and drag and it creates this little box. And then we can go into the little box. Ooh. Oh, obviously made, stop it. Thank you. I give it much. I can then make the box bigger or smaller, right, to fit all this stuff. So this will be my back jacket of what's in the thing. And actually it worked out pretty cool because that font is so small that it looks all grainy and dropped out. Time travel murder mystery from a brilliantly original new voice. Genre defying, witty, and interventing. Invent a time travel machine. Then one of them suffers a breakdown that puts the whole project in peril. Ruby knows her Granny B was the scientist. How do these get published? I'll fight that battle another day. But then you can see I've kept with the thing. I actually quite like Granny B. It's funny, a funny kind of name. I'm gonna steal that a little bit and I'm gonna make that the author. All right, 2017. And can we see that? No. So what do? We got to go into blending options and change the color, or maybe do a stroke around it, put a different color, whites. Well, you can certainly see that. Maybe this color, that's better. Something darker, just something in the range. I want it to stand over the Polaroid, so I can't have it be that exact color. I can't have it be that. I can have it be that color. Let's go into the structure. 5, 3. It's a little fancier. The fatter the stroke you have, the less classy your thing is. So if you have a tiny little stroke, and if you can work with a tiny stroke on your font, it's classy. I often think that just using a stroke on your font is kind of not classy. Here we are. Great. What else is in the back of a book? Amazon. They give you like the front cover and the back cover. Oh, we can do the author and this thing here, the little barcode. It's just a barcode on the under. And I'm using these pink lines to align these together, right? And I want this aligned with the bottom of her name and the edge of that. And you can see by moving around the pink things. Totally. Great. Come back here. Hit that layer. Bring him over here. I don't know why there's a picture. I was thinking maybe it could be the old room here. Anything like that? No. Yeah. Well, I mean, this one I can. Feel like this should be a different picture. I wonder. I go and let me say what I got. It, uh, there, made him set. Now at least it's a different look. And move his eye direction. Okay. Then at least it looks like a different or different picture than the one on the cover. There's so it would be best. I'm just kind of winging it here, but it'd be best if you found a book and copied all the stuff from that book into your and made it, and then gave it your own layer, kind of like I've done here with the Polaroids. Um, I didn't do the flaps. What time is it? I probably have to, don't really. It's more of the same stuff. I'm going to create a thing, a shape that fits in there. There's my shape. And then change the color. And then in the inside flap is always it could be something about the author. Sometimes it's about the publisher. Sometimes it's all sorts of different stuff. If I'm just gonna make mine gobbledygook. think I broke my. Well, lets me do it over here. It probably has issues.
While you're doing that, here's a fun story.
Mhm.
My friend Gina Bortolucci wrote her first novel, Dawn of a New Day, and she
Uh-huh.
asked me to photograph her, the author, for the book.
Yeah.
So we went to a cute little park in Napa and I did her headshots with this nice green background, and she had her two big crazy dogs with her. And then we're done and it's wonderful and we got the shot and we start walking back and she gets up and she sat right in the dog poo.
Oh no. At least it didn't come through on the photograph.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, because I'm not photographing that end, but she
yeah.
sat right in it and had no idea.
That's a really funny story.
It was
I
cute.
I wrote a book and had to do an author's picture too, and that took me forever. Like I have a friend who was a photographer, but he lives in Oregon, and he was supposed to come down and take a photo of me, and he didn't. And so I had another friend take a photo of me who was a photographer, and came out horrible. Or
No, no.
they were probably fine, but I didn't like them.
Well, you
Um,
have a classroom full of photographers. Well, I'm here, but you have, all the rest of us,
yeah,
most
I
of us,
know.
we could do it
This
for you now.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a while ago. Um, my book was published in like,
Cool.
yeah, it's one thing to write a book, like if you self-publish and stuff, but I was asked to write it, which is, uh,
Nice.
yeah.
I've published only photography book, only one so far.
You published a
Um,
photography book though. That's pretty impressive.
yeah, that's cool. I did independent study with Sappington, so that was neat.
That's the teacher at the school? Oh, is Sappington? What is Sappington?
Yeah, John Sappington. He's one of the photography teachers
Oh, okay.
at Santa Rosa JC.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't met him.
Hmm.
Oddly enough, because right, Photoshop is part of the CS department for some
Yeah.
reason. So
Yep.
we don't fraternize with the fine art department, all that, which is kind of
Which is
weird.
crazy because
Yeah,
Photoshop. I mean, he showed us a few things like contact sheets in here and
yeah,
things like that, or setting up our PDF here for making a book for our photography in Photoshop and in Lightroom Classic.
yeah. It even gets kind of a little weirder where they're not allowed to teach Photoshop.
Right. No, they didn't teach Photoshop. He showed us on
Yeah,
multi-platinum, platforms, how to create the contact sheets for the
yeah,
PDFs so that we can export over to Blurb, which would do the publishing and add the ISBN number for us, which was kind of cool.
yeah. It sounds like a good deal. I wish we could all get along better. Uh, the teachers sometimes get really possessive of things, and the one who was teaching Photoshop for 23 years, she got super cranky.
Well, he honed in his method. He had it down. So now it's
Yeah,
just being rewritten, which is, what happens through generations. Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't a fan of his teaching style. It
Well,
was
not everybody can be a fan of everybody's,
I know, and I'm
yeah,
gonna have to
totally.
delete this part again. Yeah, I like forcing everybody to be creative, not telling them exactly what to do. So, uh, different strokes.
Yes.
It's like do something wonderful. Here's a blank canvas. Here's all the paint and brushes. Go. This is what you have to do. Paint something. I like that. I don't like change the hat to blue. Save your file. Change the dog to red. Save your file. All
Yeah,
right.
it was a
So
little more difficult. Yeah. Okay. Back to it, huh?
Yeah, all right, so here's my book jacket. So if we were to print this, it would wrap around a book. This is all I'm looking for, something of this style. I'm more interested in the fun part rather than the busy work, but which is the front cover, like the name of the thing and how you integrated the pictures, how you did the aging thing, how you integrated those pictures into your book cover, and then the title of the book and stuff is the part that I'll think is cool. The rest of the stuff, though, you guys need practice in using the layout tools and the aligning tools and all that sort of stuff. So it's good to reiterate what we did last time in a slightly different way. Because even as photographers, you may have to do layouts. So it's good to know the rules of layout. Cool. All right, let's see. So we did de-aging. We learned about neurofilters, more neurofilter stuff. We did liquid stuff, a liquefy filter, which is also new, but not a neurofilter. I confused about what is what, but we're just going to keep dancing. And then we did a book cover. I would like you guys to do full book cover. Don't pass it like you guys are cool with it. Take a book and see what they've done and just copy whatever they've done and put it together, kind of your own. But you have the technology to do all the stuff you've done. This is nothing in here that we haven't done before except making Scott young. All right. I still would have liked a little more variation in this hair. Just like look better all blown up. Looks like it's great. All right, I'll work on that part. Without like a lot of custom illustration, weird, and adding light back in. It's fun. I guess I could have gone into Camera Raw and done some stuff better. It's a lot of work to get that to happen. I'm really surprised that neurofilters even get you that close, right? This super kind of thing, and that you can age him back year by year by year is really neat. All right, saved. What did I? There it is. I forgot to review the homework from last week. You want to see the homework from last week, Jen?
Yes, please.
There's the one I did. See how cool that is? I did. It was all about face distortion last week, not keeping realistic stuff, making it kind of.
It should say Pugorama.
No, missed opportunities, right? I thought about that. I wanted to work on the pug for a long time. I'm like, no, I got to get through this. But I taught you, I show you how to download fonts and install fonts and how to align. Part of the thing is I've downloaded fonts for people and they had to go in and cut them out each letter. Like I downloaded a font sheet, not the actual font. And part of it is they had to go in and align a crazy font so that it looked nice. And then this one is an actual downloaded font. So, all right, let's see. Oh, wow. Who's this? Is Maureen? Had more fun with the photo data I used last week. Sorry for the late. Mick joined in the fun. Oh, that's hilarious. The rolling wrenches. I like how he has a shifting thing on his shirt. Well, you put tattoos on him too. You just got it all going on. Nice. Oh, that's cool. And Hedonia. That looks like a real one. Oh, using the liquify filter. It's really neat. It looks like a Bowie album or something, huh? Who did that one, Grace? Great job, Grace. I like that. I didn't put this. I need to put this in the. I love here. I love reading the descriptions of what people did. Otherwise, I just have to look at it and guess. Um, it's always kind of interesting. I didn't add that to the homework thing, so I will have to add. Is that smudge liquefy or is that the liquefy filter? It looks like smudge or liquefy the liquefy this one. Like this, not the, not this. Things are getting really hard to deal with. Photoshop, it's kind of all over the place, right? It exploded and they don't know where to put stuff. It's like somebody backed up with a truck full of fun and said, "Here you go," and they're like, "God, we don't know where to put all this stuff," and they just keep jamming it in weird places. Oh, look at that. Who's this? Finley? Camera raw brush. Funding. Yeah, I thought about doing that. I really love that uh, filter that makes it look like dot print dot stuff. It works really well in this case. It's nice. I like. I think had you done it and then you add colorize to it, but like very limited colorize, the the neurofilter colorize, it would have given it kind of a weird rainbow thing and set it apart from the background a little bit more. But it's not bad at all. I mean, this is very much a punk rock sort of poster where it just is kind of like white. Here we go. And this is nice. I always like uh, weird paint behind the weird font. I'm a huge fan of a stupid show called Oak Island, and all their heads up, like all the words that come up that say, like, this is this guy and he's this, are all done like that. And the background moves. It's really quite a nice way to keep a boring font interesting. But this font is actually not bad. It's cool. The whole thing is really nice. And you get a feeling of him, even though he's sitting on top of the entire image, you get the feel that he's like on stage, right? It goes double back on without having to actually put him on the stage and have it like he's really there. I think I prefer this. And the distortions you've added help mask that he's not really on the stage. Got all the feel and none of the troubles. It's cool. Oh, ears split. This is kind of funny, right? Because it's usually a serious no-no to use more than like two or three fonts in a poster, unless each of the fonts represents something different. Like it's a band's name, right? And each of these are their logo fonts. So then you'd have to use whatever their different logos are. So and getting to see all the different fonts. This is but I like it. This would be like the band logo or the logo for the flame too. Is really I didn't notice the flame. Just look like that's really good. Look at this one. Oh, nice. Right. These guys who learn the text created the capital logo. So that's what that's. Ah, I can kind of see it. Okay. I've seen worse ones, for sure. Uh, even as a design or just a design element, it would be cool. But the fact that it actually spells something, you may need to surface it a little bit if you want it to actually read. Like the fact that you said it, and now I look at it and I can see it, but I didn't recognize it just by looking at it, which is okay if you want people to have that kind of quandary about it. Like if this were just a logo, a symbol, right, that was used for capital. Um, Eventually people would start noticing that stuff is in there. Um, but you wouldn't first glance. So I nice, really good job. Uh, I love seeing this. All your guys' work is always so interesting. I keep wanting to dream up crazier and crazier crap for you guys to do. I'm afraid doing a book cover is going to be kind of mellow compared to this. Um, like rein you in a little bit. We'll see what you guys can. Oh no, Teletubbies. Oh, you're all shimmery. This is like a drug-induced trip where you accidentally tune into the Teletubbies. They're talking. Like, no. Oh, oh, weird. Distort Ripple, nice. I've actually never seen a better use of the Distort Ripple tool ever. This is fantastic. Uh, yeah, that looks really cool. Great. The Teletubbies Live. Live. I think it's somebody's voice. What you gonna do? Um, yeah, great job. I like the concert here with them in front of it. It works really well. I believe how well that works. Punk rock, the green. It's a very classy one. Uh, it's a nice control of light. Um, this would give you as a oh sorry um as a person as a printer, right? Oh, as a printer, uh, all this black space would be gold because you just fill it with text like over 18 show, you must have your wallet with you, blah 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 blah. As as the artist of this, you may want to like select the whiter parts of this and scale it up. You have less black on all sides. But it's not bad at all. The one thing I will say is that the top and the bottom are not really aligned correctly. This is off to the side a little bit that way in comparison to this. And I think even this is off to the side. Maybe not. If I'm get this, I'm guessing this is the middle of the words here, somewhere right between, say, the top of the A. And you can see that that's off a few pixels from where it should be if it were centered. And then this is off even more. This needs to come back this way. But overall, dig it. Class must be over because I'm falling asleep. Overall, this is really nice. I really like the use of color, of light and shade. Has a really good feel to it. Kind of hand-drawn, graphic, comic sort of. Yeah, these could be screaming ghosts. Now that I'm looking at this, like you could have like Indiana Jones kind of screaming ghosts flying out of here. Yeah, if you want to go back to it. Nice job, Kai. I really like everybody's work. Quite interesting and cool. What do you think, Gemma? Gemini, Jimmy? I'm gonna call you Jimmy from now on because my brain's
It'd be Jemmy though, but yeah, whatever.
Jimmy.
I like them. I like all of them actually.
Yeah,
Like they're
really
really
neat.
cool. Hmm.
Really fun, huh?
They're really
Um,
fun. And I just shot this band Live the Day. I think some of their photos are gonna be really fun to play into and use.